This film does contain some pretty hilarious car chases. One car chase scene in particular is when they recognize the butcher and they all run into their car. Vince, being a tall guy, is having trouble fitting in the back. And he's like, hey, you guys, I'm a little bit jammed back here in the back. Could you, move your seat back just a little bit more? Hey, bogus! We're being chased by the police and they think you're the killer! Well, can you blame them? I look like the killer! If I had to choose my favorite part in the entire movie, it's probably when Millie confesses her love to her crush, Booker, the all-popular high school jock. And the way she convinces or admits that she likes him and also convince him that it's Millie inside the killer's body. There was a fight scene, and in the fight, Booker got knocked out. They take Booker and the killer back to a home. They tie up the killer, and Booker's unconscious on the couch with an ice pack on his head, and he wakes up, and of course, Vince Vaughn, who's playing Millie, tells him everything. He's like, okay, Booker, can you look at me, please? Okay, this is gonna sound strange, but here's what happened. When I got stabbed by the butcher, our souls switched, and then I did some research on the type of blade he used, and apparently it says by midnight tonight, which will mark 24 hours since we, encountered each other, that means by the stroke of midnight, our souls cannot switch, and it looks like I'm going to be inside this body forever, and it looks like he's going to be trapped in her body, or my body, for life. I have to admit, I like how he's making me look. I look great, they look great, you look great. By the end of the movie, Millie becomes a horror movie badass up there with all the other horror movie badasses, like Kurt Russell in The Thing, Nancy in A Nightmare on Elm Street, Sydney in the Scream movies, Sarah Connor in Terminator Judgment Day. Well, that was more science fiction, not horror film. And of course, Blade. Anyways, for future horror films, I want to see a sequel to Freaky. I want to see how Millie changes in the next film. I want to see if she becomes like a serial killer hunter or a bounty hunter. That'd be pretty cool. But it's got to be a completely different story. Some sequels don't work. Actually, maybe I want a sequel, maybe I don't want a sequel. Let's just see what happens. Okay, let's get down to why I like it. That's all the spoiling I want to do for you guys, okay? So you know my favorite part, you know what the story's about, you know what does happen, you know what cliches are used. Now let's get down to why I like it, okay? So, I like this movie because of how it used the whole idea of soul switching, like in Freaky Friday. I've never seen the idea of soul switching in a horror film before, especially when it came to a serial killer switching souls with his victim. I mean, can you imagine if Freddy Krueger switched souls with Nancy? This movie is for fans of all sorts of genres. For instance, if you are a fan of Shaun of the Dead, this is your film. If you are a fan of the Scream franchise, this is your film. If you're a fan of 80s slasher films, this is also your type of film. If you're a fan of comedy films like teen comedy films, raunchy teen comedy films like American Pie, Superbad, and The Edge of 17, and Animal House and The Breakfast Club, well, this is definitely your movie. Bingo, you've got your movie. In the future, people who rent this or buy this movie, and yes, when I say rent, I mean rent it from the library. We never quite fully lost DVD rental stores. We've kind of kept them, i.e. the library. But in the meantime, let's rate this film. Because of the cliches that were used a lot in this movie, I'm going to give it 6 out of 10 film cameras. But other than that, I walked out of this theater having a great time. I left the movie. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't mind seeing this movie again because of how funny it is. All right, there we go. Go see it. Enjoy your time while you still can.